Hello everyone, this is Logical with Digital Dynasty, and welcome to FPS Weekly number 30 for the week of June 12th, 2015, which is today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is something that I think is absolutely ridiculous and stupid. That thing being Black Ops 3 is being released on PS3 and Xbox 360. This is seriously just a waste of time. I mean, come on, the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out almost 10 years ago. The Xbox 360 is going to be 10 years old in November. The PS3 is going to be 10 years old next year. Stop releasing games on old systems. Seriously, they're not the current generation anymore. They are the last generation. They are effectively done. We are now almost 2 years into the 8th console generation with the PS4 and Xbox One. I mean, I can't really harp too much on Treyarch for this because I know it probably wasn't their decision to do this. It was Activision, and they won't be handling the porting of it. But regardless, it's a waste of time, resources, and just general efficiency. Seriously, Activision, get your shit together. Really, stop releasing Call of Duty on the last generation of consoles. Stick with PC, PS4, and Xbox One. They are the current generation. Modernize. I mean, seriously, even though Treyarch isn't going to be doing the porting themselves, they have to help the studio that's doing the porting in some respects, and that takes away time and energy from a game that could be optimized perfectly on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So seriously, just stop. Just stop. People are not going to enter into the next console generation if they keep having games that are released on the old consoles that don't provide a good experience. So just stop. Just stop. And then after that little bit of a rant there, I'm sorry. I have some pretty cool stuff right now. The Oculus Rift consumer version, which you can see right here, has been revealed, and it looks pretty awesome. Well, it looks like it's pretty lightweight. Looks like it goes around your head pretty easily. They also said that apparently it's supposed to make it easier on you if you wear glasses. I mean, I wear glasses, obviously. I'm nearsighted, so I'd probably just take my glasses off and I'd be perfectly fine with it anyway. But regardless, it looks pretty cool. Comes with its own headphones, but you can take those off and use your own headset if you would like to do so. And it will also be coming with an Xbox One controller. So, Oculus Rift consumer version looks pretty cool. Keeping up with the Oculus Rift, we just saw there's also been a trailer revealed for the Oculus by Insomniac Games, entitled Edge of Nowhere, which you can see right here. Right here. Something like that. Anyway, Edge of Nowhere is an interesting game. Looks like it's an action-adventure. Obviously first-person shooter type game. Oh, not shooter, it's a first-person game. But you get my drift. Anyway, it takes place inside Antarctica. You're on an Antarctic expedition, and something happens, and there's this creepy Cthulhu-looking creature, and it looks interesting, and I'm excited for it. Insomniac is one of my favorite developers. They're behind Ratchet & Clank and the Resistance series, and Spyro, of course, and very highly regarded. Love Insomniac. Can't wait to see what this game's going to be like. Moving right along, the next game we're going to be talking about is a game called Bedlam. Bedlam is apparently based off of a book. How often does that happen? A game based off of a novel. That's fairly unusual. I mean, yes, there were the Harry Potter games and such, but outside of that, I really don't know of any games that were made based off of a novel. Anyway, the premise behind Bedlam is that an avid gamer who works as a computer scientist at this corporation gets thrust into a video game, and they actually have to fight their way out and do challenges and stuff and to get out of the game. So it looks pretty interesting, sounds pretty interesting, and I hope to see more from it. And it also has this sort of retro-ish kind of art style going with it. I don't know. Looks interesting. So we'll be seeing more about that in the time and what's coming soon. And this is coming soon. It's coming out in August, I think. The next thing I want to talk about is a game called Shadow Warrior 2. I have no idea what the first Shadow Warrior game was about, but apparently Shadow Warrior 2 follows the story of this super badass samurai person and his fight against demons from a first-person perspective. So that looks very interesting. Can't wait to see more about that game. As you can see from the trailer, it's like super over the top and cartoony and just like, what is going on in this? Like seriously, what's the premise behind this? So it looks funny. It looks pretty cool. And I'm interested in it. Hopefully it's all it's chalked up to be. So we'll be keeping an eye on Shadow Warrior 2. Next up, we just got the official E3 trailer for Soma. You remember the game I talked about last week that's being developed by the same team that made Amnesia? Huh? Yeah, anyway, we learned a bit more about it. It turns out I was completely wrong in my thought that it took place in space or on a space station or spaceship or whatever. Turns out I was completely wrong about that. Seems like it's actually taking place inside an underwater facility. Where have we heard of that concept before? Soma looks like it's pretty interesting. It looks like it's absolutely terrifying. It's probably going to be just as much of a cult genre, mass following garner thing as Amnesia was, especially if the developers are smart and provide the open source the modding tools for it like they did with Amnesia, so people can make their own custom stories and stuff. That's speculation, but that would be really cool if they did that. So, keeping an eye on Soma. Can't wait to play it. Can't wait to get terrified by it. Okay, the next story is a pretty big one. Pretty big. For those of you that remember back in 2008 and watched on my channel, my brief Let's Play series of it, there was an awesome game called Mirror's Edge, which was very innovative in that it took its perspective inside the first-person shooter genre and turned it into a first-person action-adventure type thing with parkour and you being a courier, basically. And it was so cool. But it was a little bit ahead of its time, and as a result, it didn't really receive the positive views that it really should have, especially in hindsight. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which apparently is either a reboot slash remake slash whatever of the original game, has just been announced. No idea when it's coming out, no information about it, nothing. We don't even have a trailer. The only thing we have is a screenshot. That's it. And that's not even a screenshot. It's screen art. An image from the game. Of the game. I don't know. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I say it looks pretty cool. Yeah, but I don't even have a trailer. What does that tell you? I'm psychic! I am excited for this because I enjoy playing Mirror's Edge, and I would love to see a fresh reboot slash remake slash whatever of the game and see where it takes us, because yeah, that would be really, really cool. Alright, so our last news story of the week is about Battleborn. Battleborn just got its E3 trailer, and Battleborn is being developed by Gearbox Software, you know, the guys that did Borderlands. Yeah, so it's kind of following that same kind of style. It's over the top, it's cartoony, it's ridiculous in every possible way, and it looks cool because it's combining elements of FPS, RPG, and MOBA all rolled into one glorious little ball. So it looks unbelievably funny. I really can't wait to give it a try. It looks pretty fun. But the massive battles that people are going to be having in it, and just all the stuff that's going to be going on with that. But yeah, that looks like a pretty awesome game, I'm not going to lie. Anyway guys, that concludes this week of FPS Weekly. I hope you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed covering these news stories. I think they were pretty cool, especially some of them more than others. But that's just my personal opinion. And also my rage and frustration at Activision for forcing Black Ops 3 to be on last generation consoles. Damn you, Activision. That's all I wanted to cover this week, so I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed it. And also, I just want to give a little bit of a statement. For those of you that are unaware, Christopher Lee died yesterday. And Christopher Lee was sort of a, how do I say this? He was sort of like the quintessential guy inside the nerd world when it came to like nerdy movies and stuff. He was Count Dooku in Star Wars Episode 2 and 3. He was Saruman in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So yeah, I'm really sorry to hear about Christopher Lee's death. All the best wishes for his friends and family. Hope that they're recovering well. So, yeah, I'll give a few seconds of silence for Christopher Lee. So, with all of that, this is Logical of Digital Dynasty and of Logical Let's Plays, bringing you FPS Weekly, so stay tuned next week for next week's FPS Weekly, which will be number 4, which is fun and awesome. I will see you guys in the next video.